I promise this is not turning into a Lily Tino channel, but
I know there are people out there who are hell-bent on never ever being accommodating to trans people.
girl, I only bring this up because so many people sent me, tagged me in, alerted me to this particular video of Lily Tino walking from behind at the now infamous Disney World trip. And I don't really know what you're going on about right now, but the main thing I want to tell you, Lily Tino, is we have got to do better.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
This body is definitely a body that gets misgendered. There is nothing feminine or that reads as feminine about this particular body. This is a body that should either be in a corset or a waist trainer at all times. And I know what you're gonna say, Lily Tino. You're gonna say something like, men should never tell women what to do with their bodies. To which I would say, that's why it's a good thing there are no women involved in this conversation. Because you, mister, need to do something about that undeniably square shape. I mean, you had a facial feminization when really it was your body that needed the feminization all along. And then you mean to tell me, or us as a collective, that you had the nerve, the audacity, the unmitigated gall to traipse into the women's bathroom with that I leave the seat up figure of yours? How dare you, madam? How double dare you? How triple dare you? How quadruple dare you, madam? I'm going to play for you uninterrupted one of the most silly Lily Tino skits that I've seen on TikTok, and I absolutely love it. So I'm going to play it for you guys uninterrupted.
And here you go. Here's our bread tower. Hope you enjoy it, sir.
No. I am Lily. I'm not a sir. I'm a ma'am.
Here's a lady coming through.
It's like right to the heart, you know? I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe. I'm sending this back. Take it back. I'm leaving. I don't feel safe.
I don't see the problem. I used the women's restroom here. Went right in, and as you can see by my shirt, I pee standing up at Disney. So, you know, there's no problem. You know, 10 out of 10 pissing experience. I went in there, and I did not make a scene or nothing.
Get out of the way! I got a tinkle! Get out!
Left the seat up for you.
Oh! That was good. It's good. Who's gonna send me more money so I can order more food? Come on. My name is Lily, and you shall answer me as such. I don't care if I pass. I don't care.
What's up, everybody? Ty Rivera here, the absolute best LGBTQ comedian in the world. All right, you guys, so to tell you the truth, I hadn't planned to do Lily Tino, aka I got my cake pops removed,
I got my cake pops removed.
aka Buffalo Grill, aka Pennywise video again this quickly. But if there's anybody more obnoxious than me, it's you guys. And I say that in the most loving way possible. We really are on the same wavelength here because it really was a bunch of you tagging me, sending this to me, alerting me to this in any way you possibly could, to the fact that there was this video out of Lily Tino from behind walking at the now notorious Disney trip. And this particular video that we're going to go over right now, which is obviously a Lily Tino video, was one that I wanted to add on to the previous that I did where Lily Tino was using the women's bathroom, but I thought it would make the video too long. And I'm glad that things happen this way because in this video that I'm about to play, Lily Tino themselves actually exposes really what they're trying to do. So we'll get to that. Also, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. We're trying to see how quickly we can get to 100,000 subscribers. We're currently at 82,000 subscribers. Thank you all very much. If you notice, we're up 1,000. When you hit the subscribe button, make sure you click the bell, select all notifications, so you know every time something ridiculous happens in the crazy online world. We've got Pride Month coming up, so there's going to be plenty of hijinks from the community. But let's get into this video.
I know there are people out there who are hell-bent on never ever being accommodating to trans people. Like, I will never call you by those pronouns. You will never have my respect or whatever it is.
Lily Tino, all jokes aside, you do nothing to deserve respect. I mean, you're so bad in the way that you mock and disrespect women that you make Dylan Mulvaney look like Gloria Steinem. So I really think, Lily Tino, that you need to stop blaming the rest of the world because you're not getting back what you don't give. I mean, you're like a person that never deposits money into the bank and then is mad at the bank because when you go to the ATM, there's nothing for you to draw out.
And like, is that really worth it to you? Putting all of that effort to be nasty?
Well, this is another thing you don't get, Lily Tino, is it takes absolutely nothing to gender a person like you properly when it comes to what the rest of us consider a man and a woman to be. Like, you seem to think that there's this effort to refer to you as he and him while paying no attention to the fact that every server you've ever blamed for doing it has done it not only effortlessly, but unintentionally. So that should tell you how easy it is for people to look at you and just say, this person is a male. So I don't know why you think that it's this effort to misgender a person like you. Misgender a person like you. There is nothing about you that gives feminine or woman or even womanly. So again, this is really a you problem and not an us problem.
Because if we meet and you call me by the wrong pronouns, it's gonna be a confrontation. And I don't think you want that.
And this is something I always warn other internet personalities about. Saying things like, because if we meet and you call me by the wrong pronouns, it's gonna be a confrontation, and I don't think you want that. And the reason that I warn against making statements like this is because when you address the internet with that come at me bro energy,
come at me bro,
there's a chance that somebody is going to run into you in real life and they're going to come at you exactly the way that you're challenging them to, because that's what you're doing. Now imagine if that person at Disney had seen that video before and was like, Lily Tino challenged me to misgender them the next time I see them because they said I didn't want that confrontation. Well, maybe I'm the type of person that does want that confrontation. So never set yourself up to be the person that wants all the smoke. I'll tell you 100% where I'm at on all of it. I'm a guy who makes videos about my opinions on the internet. If you ever see me in public and you want to say hi, give me a hug, any of that kind of stuff, come up to me, let me know that you watch my channel, you like what I do. If you want a hug, ask me for a hug. Or if you just wanted to say hi, we can definitely have a quick chat as long as I'm not at the gym. And even then, as long as it's super quick, I don't mind. But on the other side, I will also tell you, if you're a person that really does not like me, does not like my opinions, does not like anything I have to say, skip it. Just in your head, curse me out and keep it pushing. Because I'm not going to change my opinions or the way that I am. I'm a little too old for physical negotiations at this time, and I don't want to debate you in public. I'm not going to debate you in public. But Lily Tino, you are an adult. You know what these consequences can possibly be. You know how much you're out in the streets or in the restaurants. So govern yourself accordingly. I'm just trying to warn you.
I think you just want to go about your day. I want to go about my day. I don't want to have to be upset about getting misgendered.
Well, then don't. Because every time you've ever recorded a person misgendering you, it's been an accident. So why are you going to get upset or act like you should have this huge emotional reaction when it's an honest mistake? It really is like you're trying to blame people for the fact that you have reactions to their reactions. And this is something I definitely have personal experience with. Look at me. Look at my appearance. People notice me and have opinions all day long. I don't make it my business. Most people, to be 100% honest, are actually very nice to me. But there are people that stare at me, There are people that will whisper about me, and I've even had people take out their phones and start recording me while I'm in a public place, like it happened to me not too long ago in a grocery store. And while the recording in public is extremely annoying, I will admit to that, because I'm just at the grocery store trying to do my thing like everybody else, the other reactions I don't care about at all. I obviously notice them sometimes, but I don't take offense because I realize that I don't look like everybody else, and you have to realize the same about yourself at this point. So if I were you, I would learn to toughen up and not make it an issue every time it happens. And my honest guess would be that it will happen less, because every time I see you in your videos and you're sitting at a restaurant or you're anywhere, it's almost like you're waiting for them to misgender you. So it sounds to me that in all of this, you're really just mad because not everybody else wants to feed into your delusion.
And I know you don't want to purposefully upset people. And if you do want to purposefully upset people, then you need to look in the mirror and ask yourself why. Why am I like this?
Maybe you need to look in the mirror and ask yourself why you think that a person noticing that you are and acknowledging you as a male is trying to purposely upset you. Maybe what would actually be upsetting to them, if you were to put yourself in their shoes, which I know is extremely difficult for you because it's all about you, but maybe what would be upsetting to them is having to feel like they were being dishonest by addressing you as anything other than what they can clearly tell that you are.
Why do I want to make people's lives harder? Why don't I want to lift up my fellow human?
Lying is not lifting up, and I really feel like you need all the reality you can get. I mean, I honestly hope that one day you stumble across and binge watch all of my videos, because I really think it would be helpful for you to know that not only are you bad for the general public, you're bad for your own mental health. You do yourself absolutely no favors at all. And then you put out these videos sort of like you're doing a service to the community by trying to gaslight them into believing that you're something other than what you actually are, and that they're supposed to buy into that to a point where they humor you, and that humoring you is lifting you up.
Like, who raised y'all? Who made you so hateful and upset? God forbid you have children and raise them to want to make people miserable.
Again, this is a signing intention that just isn't there. A person doesn't have to be hateful and upset to acknowledge that the sky is blue, the grass is green, and you're biologically a man. And yeah, most people probably will raise their children to understand reality as well, which isn't hateful. It's actually good parenting.
Especially if it's something as simple as not using a couple of words.
And this is where I was talking about that Lily Tino really exposes herself. Because if you notice, Lily Tino gives the little laugh and is like, especially when it's something as simple as just using a couple of, it's not just that simple. That's maybe what you're pretending you don't understand, Lily Tino, but I'm going to break it down for you. It's not really as simple as just not using a couple of words. If it were as simple as not referring to you as he or him or sir, that would be one thing. But you want people to refer to you as she and her or ma'am. So it's not just not using certain words, it's using other words that are untrue in their place that bothers people. And once you start using those words in their place, and then you begin to believe that you are actually that thing, which is what had you in the women's bathroom, and a perfect example of what it is I'm trying to say, is that once you start using lies in place of the actual truth, then you start having to allow people like you into spaces that we all know that you shouldn't be in. So it's not as simple and as harmless as you make it sound. And it really is a manipulation on your part to try to control the language in order to make people do what it is you want them to do, and in order to have access to spaces that you really shouldn't have access to. And there's only going to be more and more legislation to make sure that people like you really end up getting it. And don't be surprised if one day you actually end up going to jail over your behavior and having to register as an S offender from there on out. Because that's what'll happen if one day somebody decides to enforce the law on a person like you because you think it's cute and find it fashionable to be running around in the women's bathroom because you claim to be a woman.
And to be clear, we're not saying that you can never use the words sir or ma'am. We're just asking that you don't use those words until you know which one we prefer.
I cannot stress this enough for you, Lily Tino, and people like you. There will be no point in time where the rest of us decide how we speak or when we use particular words based on your comfort. You are 1% of the population, if that. So it's just not going to happen. And not only is it not going to happen because you are such a small part of the population, the reason that it's not going to happen is because people already tried that to a degree, if you don't remember, for about 10 years, where people were trying their best. And when people would make a mistake, or on the rare occasion that somebody was just like, yeah, I'm not buying into that, I'm not doing it publicly, because at that time, almost everybody had to go with it, or else they would lose their job. And that was because trans people were so unforgiving when somebody didn't know what was going on or wasn't aware, or maybe just didn't subscribe to it to a point where they were like, yeah, I don't want to go along with that. I don't hate you. I'm not mad at you, but I just don't see you as that. So I'm not going to address you as that. And it turned into a thing where people had to lose their jobs, have social consequences, get canceled in general, or all three. And then it got to a point where people just started getting like, yeah, there shouldn't be punishments for this. Even if you don't agree with their stance, there shouldn't be punishment for a person acknowledging a reality or for a person not seeing things a particular way. And that's why we're not going back. That's how we know from trying it that it just doesn't work, and it's not going to be a system everybody's going to buy into. So now that ship has sailed, and this is where you find yourself.
That's it. And if someone asked me to call them a certain set of pronouns, I'm just going to call them that, even if it seemed a little weird to me.
Well, that's on you, and that's your right. If you want to address people by weird pronouns that don't make sense to you, that's 100% okay. You can do that. But the rest of us aren't going to get used to referring to singular people as they and them. We're certainly not going to adopt ze, them, and their. And there's a whole host of other neo-pronouns that people choose to go by that we're just not going to learn or adopt as a society. And the sooner that people like you can get that through your heads and understand that it's just not going to happen,
stop trying to make fetch happen. It's not going to happen.
the better off you will be. But again, if you want to do that, you and your friends, you're welcome to that. But society in general is not going to bend to the will of less than 1% of a less than 1% population. And I say it that way because most trans people aren't even with it. So you're trying to get us to do something that even other trans people aren't going along with.
Which, to be clear, it doesn't. But even if it did, whatever. Just do it. Who cares? Be nice. The world is hard enough already. Be nice.
Well, that's the end of the clip. And what bothers me the most about Lily Tino and that message, even at the end with the just do it, be nice. You're trying to force people to do things that they don't want to do because you think they're nice. What if people came up to you, Lily Tino, and were like, it makes me uncomfortable that you dress as a woman? Say it's somebody you see in your regular life that they're like, I see you every day at the coffee shop, and it really bothers me that you, as a male, do an impression of a woman or dress like a woman. I feel like you're mocking me. What would be nice to me is if you would stop doing that. Don't argue. Just do it. Be nice. What if that's what society said to you? Then would you still agree that we should all be nice? When the shoe's on the other foot and people are telling you to do things that make them feel more comfortable, like dress in what many people would consider the appropriate clothing for a person of your sex, would you be willing to do that? Because I don't think you would be. And I think the internet has been telling you for at least a year, year and a half now, that they're really not comfortable with a lot of the stuff that you do. But suddenly then you don't employ your be nice strategy. Suddenly then you're willing to double and triple down on your behavior and on your stance. So it really is a manipulation that you're trying to force people to do what it is you want under the guise of be nice, when you can't be nice to the people on the internet who have let you know that they're not comfortable with you in women's bathroom. Think about all the things, LilyTino, that people on the internet have told you that they're not comfortable with. And then remember that a bulk of the general public, including myself, on a lot of the things that they say, really do agree with them. So if we're going by majority rule and saying, let's be nice as far as what society thinks nice should be, I think you're going to find yourself on the losing end of that argument. And I think that you'll end up quickly finding yourself in men's clothing again if we're really going to run it that way. So be careful what you wish for. Anyway, that's the way I see it. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. If you want to see a video of me talking about the trans person that is invading women's spaces all over the Bay Area right now, click the video on your screen. Other than that, as always, thank you for watching. This has been Ty Rivera, the absolute best LGBTQ comedian in the world.
They bought into his bullshit.